I'm going to show you guys a totally busted sorceress lightning build in the Diablo 4 beta that just dumpsters literally everything. It's totally insane. So in order to do this, it's all going to revolve around your ability to use Arc Lash. And so Arc Lash turns out, at least right now, in early 8 stages of the game, totally overpowered ability. Does way more damage than all the other sorcerer's basic attacks, and also it does an AoE that can hit multiple enemies. And then there's things we can do to modify this to make it even crazier. So everything we're going to get is basically just going to be to support that. So the other abilities we want Flame Shield along with these two perks, because then we can heal for more of our life. It's basically like doing anything we can in order to be able to stay alive while getting beat on by enemies, or at least like taking lots of damage by getting near them all the time. Then we're going to get Teleport, just because Teleport's a must-have just for mobility and just getting things done faster and to stay alive, too. With some bosses, you'll get in scenarios where the weak point of this build is 1v1s with bosses that are really, really strong, but with Teleport, you'll be able to just stay alive all you need till you get your Flame Shield and go in these certain cycles you'll go in, basically. Then the other thing that you're going to want is just level 1 of Ice Blades. Ice Blades is really good when you get these two perks. So this one makes it so, you know, cooldowns are reduced. The Ice Blade's cooldown's reduced when it hits an enemy that's vulnerable, which Ice Blade makes enemies vulnerable. So that, you know, reduces its own cooldown, makes it really good against bosses. But then you get this other one, so that half of that, so 0.5 second cooldown reductions applied to the other skills when that happens. So then when you have a really strong enemy that you're trying to beat, you can summon these Ice Blades over and over and over again, and it'll let you cast all your other spells much more frequently, really strong. And then we go down here, and Blizzard is just a decent one. It's really, out of all these ones, it's the most applicable in most scenarios. It does more damage than Meteor, easier to hit than Meteor. It's just overall, I have much better, not better luck. I mean, it just really just works better on average than the other one. More consistent is what I'm trying to say. I don't really need any of these talents necessarily. It's mainly just the DPS that it adds, especially against bosses, since they stand still a lot. And then we go down to our ultimate ability. We have Unstable Currents, and this one's really good just because it combos with that Arc Lash, which we'll get about attack speed in a second. We'll talk about attack speed. And then we also get this one that makes it increase your attack speed with 25% while active. What this does, this combos unbelievably well with the Arc Lash build that I'm talking about. So we're going to talk about attack speed in a second, but basically when I use this, I'll just show you. Watch how many lightning abilities go off when I use this, and all I do is basic attack. And there's lightning abilities going off everywhere. It's definitely the strongest way to use the ultimate right now, at least in the early game in this Diablo 4 beta. And then if we get a choice, which I can't do in this beta, but if I could get a key passive, it's going to be Veer's Mastery, because enemies that are close take 10% increased damage from shock skills and deal less damage to me. And if I get critical strikes, then it increases those bonuses even more, which when using, you know, a basic attack that's basically melee range, this is insanely good. Now, what you're going to want to combo this with, if you can get one, is this. There's a, you know, skill that you can, enchantment, whatever, you can get that increases basic skills attack speed by 32%, which makes you attack super fast. And then you're going to want to get anything you can in order to increase sustainability. So there's this, for example, which is really nice. It makes it you gain life per second when there's lots of enemies close by. And this will let me just run into massive amounts of enemies and just take a ton of damage and not have to really worry about it. And then obviously, if you can, you're going to want to get at least a few items that give life on kill. And that'll take care of your normal day-to-day dungeon grinding. And you'll be able to go through and just farm enemies like they're nothing. So right now, I have this on Veteran, which is as high as you can go in the beta. And I don't have to I'm not even like trying, and it's not even that hard to stay alive. And if I use my shield, I regain HP. If I use my ultimate, then I can just, you know, annihilate everybody. And what I normally do is I throw blizzards down on the ground while also doing all this, summon the swords, and then just, you know, keep throwing blizzards and just basic attacking everything. The amount of damage that this does compared to every other build that I've tried with the sorcerer is unbelievable. Like, there's no, it basically makes the normal skills of a sorceress look like garbage. Like the meteor, the fireball, the ice ones, whatever, they don't do damage compared to this Arc Lash if you build it like this. It's insane how much damage this does. The other thing is that when the swords make enemies vulnerable, it makes it so these basic attacks do even more damage to them, like significantly more. So if you're fighting a boss, for example, then as long as you have the swords out and they're beating on him, then your DPS against the boss is just like next level. I was fighting the world boss in the beta, and I was basically doing as much damage as the next 5 people combined because they didn't know how they were building. Because that one thing lets me do single target damage that's just unbelievable if I make them vulnerable. And back to the skill tree for a moment. Obviously, if you can, you're going to go through and get anything you can that will support these as far as these minor passives. So Elemental Attunement's really insanely good because you might be able to get your Flame Shield back or your Teleport, which Flame Shield does a ton. Also, teleport. You're going to want enhanced teleport, so if you teleport through a bunch of enemies, you'll be able to do it again real fast. If you want, you can get glass cannon. I personally don't get it. Just, I don't know. I don't have a lot of talents anyway in this beta to pick from. And then anything else, precision magic's insanely good combo with that. And then anything with lightning, things that you want to get are also going to help this build a lot. So again, it mainly just hinges on using our shield for DPS, throwing down blizzards, summoning the ice blades just for cooldown, and then relying on any passives that we picked up in order to heal ourselves, and then just basic attacking until we win. And it's totally busted, man. This build is... I don't know, it made the game, at least the beta, made the beta so easy. Now, obviously, there might be some better things that we can do once we can get to level 100. I would assume so. I would hope so, actually. But as for the beta, where we can only go to level 25, I cannot find anything as a sorceress that is more consistent, survivable, does more DPS. It's just like all around, it has so many perks. And you'll see people who will be like, yeah, Meteor's better, this is better, that's better. My opinion on this is not only do I get just unbelievable DPS compared to every other thing that I've tried, the other big factor with this one is that you get good single target DPS, you get good survivability, you get good everything. Consistency is huge. Like, your ability to die goes way down. It's just crazy how many powerful things this build brings to the table. You can see right here, even on veteran difficulty, it's like I can just basically face tank anything with this build, especially with the items that I have now. And when there's a boss, I can just save all my abilities that I need for survivability for when I need them. Like, for example, this is an example where I don't know what this boss was. I think it was some rare boss, or I think it was the Butcher. He wasn't even the main boss of an area, and I can just run away until I get my cooldowns back, and then I can use Flame Shield when I want to engage on him, or if I need to keep running away, I can just save my teleport to get away from him. And then whenever I want to, I go in with my Flame Shield, just do a bunch of damage with blizzards and stuff, and then just run away till I get my cooldowns back or dodge as much as possible. And doing things like this makes it so even when I fight a boss that is way too strong for whatever reason, I can still just fight him like he's nothing and just be able to win no matter what, as long as I'm patient. I don't know what this thing was in particular. This thing was like 10 times stronger than any other boss I fought in the entire beta, which was really crazy. I mean, not as strong as the world boss, but I mean, this thing had like maybe 1/8 as much health as a world boss. I don't know what was up with this guy. Which then, because of that, another good thing to combo with this is movement speed. So I just love to have items that give me movement speed like this one and this one, because that allows me in those weird scenarios where I do fight some random super boss, I can at least run away good enough to be able to dodge attacks till I get my cooldowns back. And then again, whenever I have Flame Shield, I can just use Flame Shield for a few seconds of invuln while I just do a bunch of DPS with Arc Lash and some Blizzards or something. I can stack Blizzards and then go in and then use it in Arc Lash until Flame Shield's gone, and then whenever I need to, I can run away, and if they catch me with an ability, I have one dodge, catch me another one, and then I just teleport, and we can do this forever from bosses. So here's another example before we go here of how fast I can just defeat a boss in a 1v1 using this build. Just use my ultimate and all this. So this is on veteran difficulty, just so you remember. And I just spam my, I just want to spam my Ice Blades and then put down Blizzard whenever I have mana, and then just Arc Lash and keep spamming Ice Blades, and then every now and then when I'm low on HP, I just pop the shield, or when they're going to do big burst damage like that, and then I can just basically be invincible and just fight through them. This was like without me trying. Like, if I'm trying, then I would not be as reckless, obviously, but it's really insane how much damage this build does. So this is by far the best sorceress build that I have found in the beta. Hopefully this one helps you out. This sorceress lightning build is actually just crazy, man. Like, I was able to get through levels up to level 25, get everything done. Like, it was absolutely nothing in this game once I figured this build out. If you liked the video helped you at all, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment, or also watch another video from my channel somewhere. But that's it, guys. Now you know the strongest sorceress lightning build in the Diablo 4 beta.